everyone's favorite part of every RPG ever. Just kidding. But today we are going to be looking at some numbers in the form of stats, skills, and proficiencies. We are looking at the left-hand side of the standard D&D character sheet that's available on their website, so you can print yours off and follow along with us. It's the right way up, right? Yep. We've already visited your class, so we know what it is that your character does, but now we need to find out what they're good or bad at. There are a ton of different ways of generating the 6 basic stats as far as the numbers go, and this will likely change depending on the table that you're playing at. In fact, there's probably another video there somewhere. So we're just going to focus on what the 6 stats mean. Kicking it off with strength. This seems somewhat self-explanatory, but it's me, so I'm gonna explain it anyway. Strength tells you how strong your character is. Think of this as brute strength, your ability to lift heavy objects, wield large heavy weapons, or grapple someone or something. Barbarians, paladins, and strength-based fighters are gonna generally have this stat high so that they can cause as much weapon damage as possible on the front lines. The only skill that strength actually affects is athletics. Athletics can be your ability to use the strength that you have, be it scaling a wall, climbing a rope, trying to jump clean over something, or even pitting your strength against someone else's in order to get that grapple in. Ha! Dexterity. Dexterity is your nimbleness stat. How quick you are to react to dangers like traps, how carefully you step, and how you manipulate and use light weapons or ranged aim-based weapons. This is an extremely useful stat. It affects highly used skills such as acrobatics, how well you can do a backflip, and stealth, how sneaky you can be. And not forgetting sleight of hand, which is how deceptive you can be utilizing your hands. Whether this is trying to take something from someone's pocket, or mislead someone, or potentially cast a spell without being noticed. Classes that benefit from this stat are going to be rogues, monks, light weapon fighters, and rangers. Constitution. Constitution is how hardy you are. It's the stat that will help you determine your hit points, how well you can shrug off the effects of poison, or how well you can maintain a spell that you're focusing on while you're being attacked. Constitution is the only stat that doesn't actually have a skill associated with it, and I guess that's just because having a high constitution isn't technically a skill? Classes that benefit from this stat are going to be pretty much all of them, but especially spellcasters that are going to be using a lot of spells that they have to concentrate on, or any kind of frontline fighter that doesn't want to just go down in one hit. Intelligence. Don't you mean intelligence? Yeah, that's what I said. Anyway. Intelligence is how smarter your brain thinks are. Intelligence is how book smart you are, how learned you are, or your natural ability to pick things apart and figure things out. Skills affected by this stat are going to be Arcana, which is your knowledge of magic. History, well, your knowledge of history. Investigation, your ability to inspect a scene or an item. Nature, for your knowledge of plants, animals, and everything outdoors. And religion, again, for book reasons. Classes that will benefit from a high intelligence are going to be artificers and wizards, as this is the stat that affects your spellcasting. But also don't forget rogues, who might want to be very good at investigating for finding traps or finding good loot. Or just anyone who wants the ability to be somewhat intelligent. Wisdom. Wisdom is how wise your character is. No, really? It's also your ability to perceive the world around you, be it people or nature. Skills affected by wisdom are going to be animal handling, which is kind of how well you can handle animals, and it seems obvious, but riding horses or being able to train an animal that you find. Insight, reading between the lines, especially with people. Medicine, discerning or treating injury or sickness. Perception, what you can take in from the world around you. And survival, tracking, keeping direction, or any other kind of survival skills. Classes that are going to benefit from a high wisdom are going to be clerics, rangers, and monks, because all of their abilities are tied to wisdom. Perception is also the highest used role in the game, so if you want to be good at seeing everything, then you might want to pour some into wisdom. Charisma. Charisma is the very presence that your character holds, especially in social situations. You can use this stat to talk your way out of trouble, make a lie more believable, or even get that discount you wanted from the shopkeeper. The stats affected by charisma are deception, your ability to lie, intimidation, picking your words carefully in order to subtly threaten, persuasion, just as it sounds, it's basically getting your own way, and performance, putting on a show. Classes benefiting from a high charisma are going to be bards, sorcerers, and paladins, as all of their special abilities are tied to charisma. Although, rogues who want to be able to deceive, or any other character that really wants to play more of a face role in the game should pour a little bit of love into charisma. Inspiration! Although technically not a stat, it is right next to the strength box, so we'll cover this as well. Inspiration is really its own thing. You either have it or you don't. That's just like real life. Inspiration can come in a couple of different forms. It may be given to you by a bard in the game, in which case you get a bonus die to add to ability checks and saving throws, or your dungeon master may offer you an inspiration point in the form of a reroll as a reward for a particularly cool moment in game. For a Dungeon Master inspiration, I may put a coin on that box to signify it. For Bardic inspiration, depending on what level they are, they will have a different size die, and I will put that die on that spot. Just to remind me, because it's super easy to forget that someone gave it to you. Proficiency bonus. This is a bonus that you get to add to all skills and saving throws that you are, you guessed it, proficient in. There are fixed options for you to choose from that come from your class and background, but think of these skills as the pillars of your character that they will be known by. Proficiency increases as you level up, so think of this as progressively getting more trained in those skills that you're already good at. There are some stats that you're gonna have really, really high, and then there are others that you throw those terrible low rolls into. So let us know in the comments, what is your character's dump stat? Because there's always one, and it's either intelligence or charisma. Yeah, that's right, tell me I'm wrong. And if you haven't already, you should probably go ahead and check out this video right here.